Alright, and hello everybody, I'm the Super27, and welcome to another Dokkan Battle video. This is going to be a short video, because by the time that this goes up, I feel like most of you guys would have already summoned if you were planning to summon, which you 100% should do, by the way. I don't know if that's incredibly obvious, but these are some of the most powerful banners in the game's history. But yeah, I just wanted to give my quick little 2 cents on who I think you should summon for. I think it's very apparent who you should summon for, but I will give this, you know, as fair of an evaluation as I humanly can. So, the GAMMAS. Now, if we're looking at the GAMMAS, they are characters who give an insanely stupid amount of support. If we're looking at it, they're giving 50% attack and defense and 3 key to all superheroes, joint forces, or defender of justice category allies, which is, like, best team in the game. One of the most consistent, like, releases in the game, because all the time we get what-if characters, we get duo characters, like, joint forces gets buffs literally all the time. And defender of justice is not the greatest category, but it is always nice when you give weaker categories more buffs, obviously. So if you are using them, you're primarily using them for this, and this only gets crazier as you transform with them. Their standby is also very powerful. So essentially what it does is in their base form, they have 150 to stats, or excuse me, 125 to stats at the start of turn, and then if you're above 30% HP, they are at 250 to stats at the start of turn. While you're in this version of their standby, they basically just get that for free. There is no HP restriction. You also get more damage reduction. You still keep the same level of support, and then they do the same conditions that they have with attacking. We'll talk about that in just one moment. And then when you go into Gamma 1 is a little bit wonkier, I would argue. So he gets 150 stats here. If you're above 30% or more HP, you get another 150 here. So in total, you're at 30% damage reduction and 300% to stats at the start of turn. Still keeping that same level of support. You get a guaranteed additional super here, whereas it's not always guaranteed in the other forms. And then he also gets this, which is all superclass allies get 50% defense for 2 turns on the 18 key super, which is a stupid, and I mean stupid amount of support, which is really good. Meaning pretty much you put this guy into slot 2, no slot 3 unit will ever die to a super attack. They might take a lot of damage still, but giving 50% here plus 50% here, plus whatever they're getting by doing their own super attack effects. This isn't like a team protection ability, but it is like, it might as well be with the just insane amount of support that they are giving. Now, this character does have a couple of flaws, I would argue. You could really only, or really would only want to run them on like this, obviously these 3 teams right here. Superheroes at the moment, they are one of the better units on both JP and on Global if you're running just a pure superhero team, which I don't know if you necessarily like want to do, but if you wanted to do so, yeah, you could just run pure superheroes. It is the best team in the game if you don't want to add any other like variety or other different mechanics. Run these guys on them, you're buffing the entire team. But if you're running them on like Connected Hope, they would be very good, but unless, you know, you're having a Connected Hope Defender of Justice character, for example, you're going to be missing out on this character's like main selling point. And on top of that, their links are very weird. Android Assault, Hero of Justice, Red Ribbon Army, Signature Pose, Legendary Power, Fierce Battle, and Shocking Speed. It is a little bit weird, and they do have one final nail in the coffin that does make them a little bit weird and maybe a little bit less consistent. They are a character who needs type orbs specifically. Now granted, they need just 3 out of the 5 different types, not including rainbows. So technically, like 50% of the orbs that are in the game benefit this character. So it could be worse. Like, they could only need int, and then we would be looking at this character in not a very favorable way, I would argue. But there is, like, some situations where you're only able to give them, like, 1 STR key sphere, for example, if, like, just the orbs fall in a very bad way. And then you're missing out on a huge amount of their performance, because this is a character who, like, wants int orbs above all else, but they don't create their own int orbs until you go to Gamma 1, and at that point he gets the exact same buff for int orbs as he does STR orbs. And when you're in the stage, AGL orbs don't do anything for you, but at the start of turn you do AGL, or you change AGL key spheres into int key spheres. But that kind of leads into the problem with this character just a little bit if you're running him on like Defenders of Justice or Special Pose, the Topo team. Because Topo is a character who will transform all int key spheres into rainbow key spheres. So these 2 characters kind of clash. And I don't know if I would necessarily say Topo is better than them, just because he's a slot 1 unit. Like, I don't think that's really a fair way to evaluate it, because they're both kind of doing completely different things. Like, this is, again, like, exclusively a defensive character who does, like, massive amounts of damage. They have an incredibly powerful standby attack, once you go into their standby. They get charges per the amount of super attacks your ally characters perform. The wiki is being... I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's being really slow, but that's okay. I guess I can say it. Unfortunately, it won't be able to visualize it. But each time your allies perform an attack, they get a charge, and then they get 100% attack temporarily per charge that you were able to get. So if you're able to forward load them on a team that does just a lot of additionals, the standby will do a ton of damage. Now, the standby does have an issue in it because they only get crit in their passive when they collect orbs. However, when you do the standby, obviously you're not collecting orbs first, meaning that any crit that does, you have to have it in your hidden potential system. So they're designed a little bit wonky, but I would still say they are probably the third best anniversary unit. Unfortunately, I do think that Broly is probably the worst, just because the stupid amount of support that these guys offer, like, genuinely is baffling. And after they super attack, they should be able to eat any super, not well necessarily. I don't think that they're going to be like double-digit tanking bosses with just 30% damage reduction. But they do, obviously, I mean, they're getting 50% defense here, they're getting 30% defense here. They have the potential to launch a lot of additionals as well if you give them all the right orbs. They can essentially give themselves guaranteed crit, and they can give themselves even more damage reduction if you are able to give them all the orbs specifically in this form. But I feel like the major downfall of this character is actually the banner. So if we scroll down here just a little bit, it's pretty bad. You pretty much only have like one unit who you'd actually want to get, which would be the Gammas. You have two questionable options, which would be Beast Gohan and Bulma. They still have value, but it's a little bit more niche because they are starting to feel the pressure on their back. And then every other unit, I would argue, in today's meta is worthless. This is a unit who easy-aid in 2022. What the fuck are you doing here? These two easy-aid last year. Don't know what you guys are doing here. This kid easy-aid last year. He does damage. He can't tank. This kid can't tank. And then this kid just never had a chance to really do anything in the game, like even on his initial release. So it's like, out of the, what, 10 units who are on here, maybe 3 of them are good? I don't know. I mean, obviously these guys are great. Like, I don't want to undersell these guys. You can be good, and you have the potential. Again, you're just a crazy support unit. So, like, you will always have value, especially since in today's meta, she can still tank normals. She might take a little bit of damage, but she can tank normals, and that's pretty much all that matters. She's not expected to eat supers anymore. She doesn't have to feel the pressure of slot 1 anymore. You can easily float her. She creates her own orbs, so it's not like the hardest thing in the universe to give her 7 orbs. And you don't need to give her 7 orbs for her maximum potential. I think you only have to give her 5 for her support, but she herself gets stronger with 7, so that's why most people aim for 7. But yeah, I would say if you were to summon, only summon after you summon for Beast. So let's real quick analyze what Beast is doing. Obviously, he has one of the best leader skills in the game. Superheroes, best team of the game. Bottom Master and Disciple has been a very consistent category over the past couple of years, and then Miraculous Awakening has the potential for a lot of different EZAs. Int Name of Goku is the first one that really comes to mind, because I feel like they are definitely going to EZA during this Worldwide Download Celebration, or before the end of the year. And then Entrusted Will, which is a little bit of a weaker category, but it's always nice to give weaker categories on the 30%. And then Movie Heroes, a lot of Movie Heroes are actually on Superheroes or on Miraculous Awakening. Very powerful leader skill. If we're looking at his super attack effects, his 12 key, he greatly stacks attack. I'm not even going to read the rest. On his 18 key, he greatly stacks attack. Okay. And then if we go down here, on his unit super, he greatly stacks attack. He gives all allies 20% crit for the turn, and he disables an enemy action once within the turn. Oh yeah, did I also mention? No, I didn't, because I chose to ignore, but he's getting 30% defense here, and then he's getting 30% defense here for 4 turns. Wow, really fucking powerful super attack effects. Let's look at his kit. He has an entrance animation. Oh, really cool. It gives him 8 key, 40% damage reduction, and crit for 5 turns. Wow. He gets 3 key, 250 stats, and guards at the start of the turn. Okay, really good. He gets an additional 50% attack when key is 24. Oh, excuse me. He gets 50% attack when attacking, and if key is 24, he gets an extra 20% chance to crit. He gets 80% defense when receiving an attack, and if key is 24, he gets 20% damage reduction. Oh, okay, so 60% for both for his first couple of turns. Okay. He gets 1 key per key sphere. Okay, so it's really easy to get him to 24 key. He gets an additional super attack, and all allies, self-excluded, get 3 key within the same turn after he receives an attack. Okay, so you put him in slot 1. Okay. He gets an additional attack and chance to perform a crit plus 20% within the turn, and 1 key up to 5% permanently with each attack received. Oh, okay. So he gets hit 5 times in slot 1. That's an extra 100% attack and guaranteed crit. Good to know, good to know. And then he has a chance to perform a crit plus 20%, 20% damage reduction, and all allies get 2 keys starting from their turn, next attacking turn, when this character gets hit 5 times, or he performs 8 attacks. With just that, he would probably be the best unit in the game. But then he has this. He has his active skill, Gohan's Confidence, which gives him 24 ki, really good. An extra 158% defense, really good. It targets all enemy attacks towards him, really good. And then he gets guaranteed crit. And it can be activated after he gets hit 1 time. Is there anything else that could be said? He's obviously undisputed #1 in the game to this day. Even if you're a JP player, there is no competition, I would argue, for what this character is able to provide to the table. He's on a lot of really powerful teams. He's on a lot of really weak teams. He has a very good link set. All in the family, Sand Warrior Race, End Fighter, Fierce Battle, Prepare for Battle, Shock Speed, Legendary Power. He can protect your team. He can outright destroy these events with just how powerful he can very quickly become. And if we're looking at his banner, it gets pretty good from there. Now his banner, I will admit, it has 3 stinkers. This unit is at least a year away from EZAing. These two have already EZA'd. I don't really even understand what they're on here for. But you have the 6 years who were EZAing on the 31st. Undisputed #2 and #3 in the game as a as a global player. These guys, I don't understand, they're divisive. I'm a little bit higher on them than a lot of other people would probably argue. I just think that the the AGL Vegeta transformation is very valuable, and it's actually transformed running with some of these big dogs. Obviously not nearly as powerful, but is in the contention for at least top 15. You just kind of gotta get through their base form. So it's very hit or miss. They're pretty much a dodge or die unit in their base. So if you're not a huge fan of that playstyle, I do understand it, but the payoff you do get is pretty massive. This unit has kind of fallen off a little bit, because if you're using them, it's for their 50% damage reduction and their incredibly high defense. You can't really use them for their revive anymore, because there are just going to be better revive characters in the game. But I do still feel like they have some utility, especially since right around the corner, we're going to be having the worldwide download celebration, and it's likely to be GT related. So they may be one of the best linking partners in the game, so keep your eyes peeled for that. These guys, they're just a very good support unit. They dodge, they support. What else could you really ask for? And then Beast. I mean, we already went over what he does. He does everything. So, again, I understand that most of you guys, by the time you see this video, have probably already summoned. But if you were looking for guidance, there is no question who you go for. You go for Beast 10 out of 10 times. If you get this guy at 55%, you could maybe throw some on here. But I don't think they're really worth chasing, unfortunately. I don't think, maybe doing 300 stones would be my maximum recommendation. Unless you're, the biggest Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 stand in the multiverse. I don't see it. I don't even think it's really worth, the tickets even, because, again, I know that gives you another chance for the Gammas, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I would recommend it, maybe even at all, outside of just collection purposes. I don't know. But I would say, I don't normally recommend people chase characters. This is a gacha game. I don't normally recommend people putting money into the game or anything, but if there was ever a time to do it, if you were ever, on the ropes about should I put money in this game, should I not put money in this game, I would say if you have ever wanted to, now would be the time, and wholeheartedly, you were getting much more bang for your buck, and have the potential at the best character, or one of, arguably, the best characters ever in Dokkan history, summon for Beast. I mean, I would maybe even get this kid, I would summon on this banner to get him to 69% before I would try to get these guys at 55, if that makes sense. But ultimately, do whatever you want to do. This is your life. Do whatever's fun for you. But I think that's going to be all for this time, guys. So when this video goes live, let me know in the comment section down here, or over on my Twitter. Link can be found in the description. Let me know, how did your summons go? Did you get shafted? Did you get incredibly lucky? Let me know what happened. Keep your eyes peeled for a summoning video. I still do not have my phone fixed as of the time of recording, which is incredibly saddening. But whenever I do get my phone back, inevitably there will be a Beast Gohan summoning video, so please keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, that is going to be all for this time, guys. I've been the Super27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an upcoming YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter, a Twitch, a TikTok, and a YouTube, the links to which can all be found in the description of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment. Positive, negative, or indifferent. I would love just any sort of interaction I can get from you guys. Again, I would love to hear your summoning luck, so either let me know over here or over on the Twitter. And I am going to say this again just because the growth we've had on the channel has been incredible as of late. Within 5 days, I've gotten 49 subscribers, and multiple of my videos have reached above 100 views, some of which have even hit above 1,000 or 2,000 views. which, I mean, you can look at all the other videos around my channel. If I get 15 views on something and it's been watched for more than 34 seconds, I normally count that as a dub. So this incredible amount of growth is super awesome, and I'm hoping that I can continue to impress you guys. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit tired. I did just get done streaming for 5 hours, so I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, sorry for the lower energy video. But yeah, let me know. But yeah, that'll be all for this time, guys. So, as always, I've been the Super 27, and I am signing off.